Upon the guidance of exiled Jedi Grandmaster Yoda, the rebel crew of Ahsoka Tano, Kanan, Jarrus and Ezra Bridger go to the planet of Malachor in a bid to find a way to defeat Darth Vader and his team of Inquisitors. Approaching a monolith inscribed in ancient text, Ezra accidentally triggers the power within, and they fall into an ancient chasm below. Ahsoka is able to identify that they had fallen right into the foundations of a Sith Temple, and walking through an ancient battle, Ezra fell into an underground tunnel after battling an Inquisitor. There the Jedi padawan meets a strange Force user called the Old Master, who was actually the former Sith Darth Maul, who manipulated Ezra into taking a holocron. Tasking what he thought to be his new apprentice to activate the superweapon with the holocron, Maul turned upon the rebels and blinded Kanan until he was stopped by Ahsoka and Kanan. But what if Maul had never betrayed the rebels? How would this affect Ezra? Would it change the outcome of the duel between Ahsoka and Vader? As you'll discover, Maul's loyalty could have transformed the rebellion. Thrusting his lightsaber through the seventh sister, Maul looked at Ezra in disappointment at his failure to deal the killing blow. He then realised that Ezra would never become the powerful apprentice that he needed, were he to get his revenge on Sidious. Instead of turning upon the rebels as he had planned, Maul guided Ezra to the top of the temple, whilst Ahsoka and Kanan were distracted with the other Inquisitors, allowing them to place the holocron inside the obelisk. The structure began to glow as the superweapon slowly charged to its full potential, until Maul sensed the presence of Darth Vader growing closer and closer. On one of the lower levels, Ahsoka and Kanan had defeated the 5th and 8th brothers, before finding themselves bathed in a glowing purple light from the obelisk. Ahsoka also sensed the dark presence of Vader in the TIE Advanced Starfighter hovering above her, and instructed Kanan to take the holocron out before he could wreak havoc on the planet as she went to battle the Sith. But as they reached the summit, Vader was already there and battling Maul. Kanan saw that Ezra was scrambling towards the obelisk despite an injury and ran to his padawan to retrieve the holocron. As Maul got pushed into a pit below, Vader turns to meet his former apprentice and offers to spare her life. Ahsoka ignites her blades to avenge her former master, but as they are about to lock blades, Maul flew from the side of the cliff face and thumped Vader on the top of his helmet, cutting through the top layer. Maul tries to take advantage of his attack and kill the Sith apprentice, but he was stopped by Ahsoka. Vader looked up from the ground, expecting Maul to deal the killing blow, but realised that the Zabrak and himself had the same goal, to find and kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hearing the name of the renowned Jedi Master, Ahsoka claimed that he had been killed alongside the other Jedi in Order 66, but Vader and Maul disagreed, believing he was still in hiding. Just as Maul and Vader were about to turn their blades upon Ahsoka, the ground began to shake as the temple began to seal after the holocron had been removed from the obelisk, and Ahsoka dived for the closing gap. Escaping with the ghost crew, this left Maul and Vader in the exploding temple, and they had to think quickly together, so they pierced their lightsabers into the floor below and tumbled out into the depths of the temple. Vader wheezed as he scrambled out and found Maul nearby, who was moving to one of the TIE Advanced Starfighters which the Inquisitors had left behind. Not a word was said between them as Vader guided Maul to his personal Star Destroyer, and they landed side by side in his hangar. The two Darkside users began to discuss their tracking of Obi-Wan, and Maul is insistent that Ezra held the key, so they had to retrieve the holocron. Back aboard the Phantom, Ahsoka was still recovering from learning the truth about Obi-Wan. Ezra walked into the room, and Ahsoka finally admitted that Vader had been a former Master Anakin Skywalker, and now he was after Obi-Wan. Ezra twirls the holocron in his hand, and is insistent they had to find the Jedi Master. Whilst Ahsoka appreciated the help and enthusiasm, this was a journey she had to make without him. Landing on the rebel base of Atollon, Ahsoka cannot bear to look at Captain Rex, now knowing the truth that Anakin would not return, and took one of the T6 shuttles to Alderaan. Floating serenely through the clouds, the former Jedi Padawan is met by Leia Organa. Ahsoka bowed to the rebel princess and asked to meet her father, stating that this was an emergency. Bail Organa soon walked out with 2 of his guards, and Ahsoka wanted to know the truth about Obi-Wan, recalling what Maul and Vader told her, and that he was now in danger. The Senator of Alderaan reluctantly deployed a projection of the galaxy and pointed to Tatooine. It was time to find the Jedi Master. That is it for part 1 of What If Maul Never Betrayed the Rebels. If you'd like to see a part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.